If you can do this, it's going to lead to a lot more prospects moving forward with you as a financial professional and moving forward with your company and or in your sales team. Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name is Matthew Welsh, and welcome to the Leaders Only podcast, where we talk about business, leadership, mindset, and it's pretty much anything revolved around building an incredible life. You know, the reason that I started this podcast because I felt like on the way to where we're at now, there wasn't really a place to go learn tangible skill sets, leadership qualities, and mindset strategies that you can learn today, apply today, and get immediate results. And so the goal of this podcast is to teach you the things that you need to actually win, to actually change your life, and to actually grow your business and grow your team if you're someone that's in a leadership role. And so if you can do me a favor, if you ever get something out of our message, if you ever get something out of the content, if you can like, share, subscribe, just tell people about it. We put out all this information for free. And so all we ask is that you share it with a friend if you get something out of it. So with that being said, thank you guys so much, and let's tune in.
Let's go. I'm a big mood. You can't name a lot of things that I didn't.
Today, we're going to be talking about a subject that can completely improve the amount of sales that are going down in your business, in your organization, in your sales team, and we can increase the amount of distribution that's happening if you apply what it is that I'm about to talk about. And so what I'm going to be discussing with you today is the ability to establish credibility in what you are doing, in who you are, so that way people have a higher trust in you, but also so that way they have a higher trust in the product and or company that you're offering, so that way they actually want to put money there versus you having to convince them to put money there. And so I want to talk about what that looks like. And if we can dial this in, once again, your production is going to go up significantly. And so obviously being in the financial industry, this message is going to lean more towards the financial space. But regardless of what industry you are in, what we're going to talk about today will make a huge improvement in your business. So I just want to challenge you to listen to it all the way through. And so one of the things that actually sparked this conversation, and one of the things that led to this conversation, is I was sitting down with one of our brokers the other day, and we were doing an audit of his business, trying to figure out why his sales were a little bit low. And so we looked into a couple of things. We said, all right, maybe it's the market. Maybe you're offering products to people that either A, don't need it, and or B, can't afford it. Maybe they're not looking for that type of product, or maybe they can't afford that product. And so we looked at the market that he was offering his products and services to. We realized that it wasn't that. So then we looked into his skill set. Maybe he wasn't the most skilled. Maybe he wasn't the best at communicating the product, communicating what it is that we do, communicating to the client why they needed the product and service. Maybe he wasn't the greatest at asking the proper sales questions that would lead to the client wanting to move forward. And so we went through his sales process and we realized it wasn't that. So what we realized in this situation is that it wasn't that his skills were bad. It wasn't that the market was bad. One of the things that we realized is that he wasn't doing a good enough job at establishing credibility in himself and also what he was offering. And so I want to go over some tips with you today that can help improve this, because once again, right, you can have great skills, you could be in the right market, but if people don't trust you and trust the company, it's going to be very difficult for them to want to move forward with you and buy from you. So I want to give you some things that can help with this. So in my industry, in the financial services industry, typically when we were sitting down with some type of prospect and or potential client, there's always typically a trainee involved, because as people partner with our firm, they introduce us to maybe 10, 15, 20 people that they know in order to learn how to represent the firm properly, but also in order to generate referrals for them in their new endeavor here in our industry. So there's a couple things that I do to establish credibility in myself, so that way they trust me. And it's very important that we do this. And it was something that I struggled with, because nobody likes to edify themselves. Nobody likes to make themselves sound good, especially if you're a humble person. And I know that this is something that I struggled with personally, which is why I want to go over with you how I do it. Because if we don't establish credibility in our own abilities, then it's going to doubt whether or not they feel like what you were saying is the best, is legit, and is credible, which is not good for the sale happening. So what are some of the things that I do? Number one is, because I always have a trainee involved, what I'll do is I'll have the trainee edify me to the potential client, to the potential prospect. So typically what this looks like is the trainee will send some type of message and or reach out to the potential client and say, hey, listen, I just want to say thank you so much again for supporting me today. You know, today I'm so fortunate. I actually have one of the top trainers, one of the top brokers in all of Southern California that's going to be helping me with this training. He's someone that literally everyone in this space is looking to get trained by. He's helped hundreds, if not thousands of clients. And he's someone that I truly trust because he's an amazing dad. He's an amazing husband. husband, and he's just an honorable person. So I just want you to know that the person that we are sitting down with today, they're not just anybody, they're one of the best at what they do, and we're going to be in great hands. So thank you so much again for being willing to support me. It means the world to me. So we teach our trainees how to have that conversation with the client before the appointment, because now all of a sudden when the potential client and or the referral client shows up to the appointment, I have a higher level of credibility day one because I've already been edified. But then what I do is I take it to another level and I edify myself. So typically the way that I do this is I tell a 2-minute passion story on why I'm so passionate about what it is that I do, why I'm so passionate about our industry, why I'm so passionate about what we're able to do for families. And I link it back to my own story. I tell my story of how we struggled financially. I had a dad that battled cancer and was unable to work. I had a mom that ended up losing her daycare. And we went through a lot of financial struggles between my mom losing her income and then my dad also being in a place where he lost his income due to cancer. And so I tell that story because it allows me to relate to the client. I say, hey, listen, because of the fact that our family went through all these financial struggles, I wanted to make sure that no family participated in the same financial struggles that we went through. It's one of the reasons that I got into the industry, because I realized that I can help families become proactive and be preventative so that way they don't end up in a situation like what my family ended up in. And so it's one of the reasons I'm so passionate about what I do. It's one of the reasons that I love what I do so incredibly much. And it's also one of the reasons that I've been fortunate enough to be placed into a broker role where I've become one of the top brokers in all of Southern California. And so because of this, I've actually been placed into a leadership role where now I'm training other people to have the same level of success that I'm having. And it's been such a fulfilling thing for me. And so it's one of the reasons that I'm actually sitting here with your friend today. It's one of the reasons that I'm sitting here training Jimmy today, your nephew or your cousin or your uncle. It's one of the reasons that I'm training them is because I want to help them have the same level of success that I've been able to have in the industry. And when I met Jimmy and I saw his heart for helping people and I saw the difference that he wanted to make in the lives of other people, I thought to myself, this is the type of person that can make a difference here. And that's one of the reasons that we move forward with Jimmy. And you might be wondering, how come we decided to move forward with somebody that doesn't have a background in finance, doesn't have a background in the industry? Well, to give you an understanding, right now, the industry, we have the biggest wealth transfer in the history of the world taking place because of the baby boomers. The problem is more than 26% of our industry is retiring right now. So what's happening is demand has gotten bigger, but the industry has gotten smaller. And this has forced us to take unusual methods when it comes to expanding and growing, which is why we're no longer looking for people within the industry. We're looking to train people outside the industry on everything they need to do in order to succeed in our industry. And that's one of the reasons that we decided to move forward with Jimmy, is we saw that he had a great heart. We saw that he cared for other people. He seemed like he had a work ethic, and he seemed like the type of person that we can train in order to get a state and federal license with us and have a lot of success. And so I just want to say once again, I'm excited to be here. And so did you notice what I did there? Okay, I not only established credibility in myself through the trainee edifying me, but then I told my 2-minute passion story on why I'm so passionate. I used that 2-minute passion story in order to lead into a moment where I can edify myself in a humble way, but then I put it back on the trainee to edify the trainee and take it off of me. So what I did there is I allowed myself to edify myself, but I sandwiched it between making a difference and I sandwiched it between edifying someone else. So what it does, it makes it look less about me and more just about a conversation that's happening, which is very important. So number one is we have to establish credibility in ourselves in order for the clients to take us seriously, in order for the clients to actually hold on to what it is that we're saying. The second thing that we have to establish credibility in is the product itself. We have to demonstrate a track record for the product working. Because if I'm selling a vehicle, right? Wouldn't you want a vehicle that has a track record for being reliable? Absolutely. If you're selling a financial product, don't you want to have your money in a financial product that has a track record for getting the job done and having high rates of return and or tax benefits and or paying out to the family if God forbid something happened to them? Of course, you want a product with a track record. So you have to establish credibility in the product and its track record. What you also have to do is establish credibility in your company. So depending on what company you're a part of, if you're the type of company where the product is with your company, well then guess what? You have to establish credibility in your company as a company that they can trust to buy from. Or maybe you're in a model like the financial services industry where there's typically a distribution channel that distributes the products of other companies. At that moment, you got to establish credibility not just in your own company, but you also have to establish credibility in the company in which you are representing. So a lot of the financial services companies that I represent have been around for 100+ years. And so every company out there, when you look at them, they all have credibility pages on their website. So I'll take the client to that credibility page. I'll go over all their credibility and why they're a trusted company, why they can trust to have their money with that company. And it allows us to build trust and it allows us to build credibility, not just in your company, because you're representing that company, but also the company where their money is actually going to be with. And then I have that conversation too. I say, hey, listen, Mr. and Mrs. Client, I'm not the one that's actually going to be holding your money. I'm not the one that's going to be managing your money. What I am is the middleman, the middle woman to making sure that your money is set up. And I'm the person you contact whenever you need help with your account. So that way you don't have to spend 30, 45 minutes, an hour on the phone trying to take care of things yourself. I'm the middle person that helps you go from where you are to where you want to be financially. And this is the product that we're going to be utilizing. I establish credibility in that product. This is the company that that product's with. I'm going to establish credibility with that company. Now, all of a sudden, I establish credibility where credibility needs to be established, which is once again in you as the representative, in the company in which their money is going to be with, in the product, which is where the money is going to be in, and or the product that you are selling. You have to establish credibility in all of it. And if you can do this, it's going to lead to a lot more prospects moving forward with you as a financial professional and moving forward with your company and or in your sales team. So I just want to challenge you, get really good at doing this yourself, but get really good at helping your agents and or your sales team learn how to do this as well. Because most of our sales teams, they're not good at edifying themselves. They're not good at edifying the company. And those are two very, very important things that need to be edified if the client's going to want to do business with you. So hopefully this helps. And guys, if you got something out of today's content, if you can do me a favor, if you can like, share, subscribe, tell somebody about it. That's all we ask. We put out all this information for free. All we ask is that if you ever learn something, you tell a friend. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys next week on the Leaders Only podcast.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.